Good afternoon, good evening, bookers. Nigel, excellent books. We're out in the library again. There's my shelf for the night. We're in this gorgeous little stream, bottom of the, brook. Lovely little library spot. Waterfall, trotter pool. There's a bigger pool just that the waterfall drops into if you was after putting your trotters in it. And what are we up to today? Well, as you know, we're doing an Edgar Rice Burroughs read, one a month. I'm on The Monster Men. Let me set my camera down, so hopefully it's not too windy where you are. After my last book review, Kestrel for a Knave, I wasn't happy with it. My missus reads a lot. She says, well, why didn't you put this in it? Why didn't you talk about this? Why didn't you do that? But I'm not going to edit it now. I was going to delete that one and do it again, but I'm not going to. So today we're going to be talking about The Monster Men by Edgar Rice Burroughs. This time I've got some notes. I have two copies of this, Ace edition, and I think the other one's another Ace one. It's more of a cartoony cover. I should be able to tell you who the cover artist is for all you die-hard Edgar Rice Burroughs fans. No, but no doubts there's people out there that know it. So basically, if you liked, it was first written in 1913 as a magazine piece called A Man Without a Soul. I'm reading off my notes. And then in 1929 it was published as Monster Men. It has, and it always will be, compared to Frankenstein and The Island of Dr. Moreau by H.G. Wells. And if you have read said book, you will know where the comparisons come from. And as I was reading it, I was thinking, bloody hell, that's like this, bloody hell, that's like that. So it's just his take on the doctor who wants to create the perfect, or a human, the best human. So it's a jungle science fiction, science adventure book. There's obviously, because it's Edgar Rice Burroughs, a beautiful girl in it. There's a young man in it. There's evil villains in it who are proper evil. There's pirates in it. There's a doctor doing experiments on his creations in it. And as in any good Edgar film, it's how the woman and the beautiful young perfect man fall happily in love ever and ever after and after. It's set on the South Pacific Islands around Borneo, and it then transfers into the jungles of Borneo, and there's some brilliant passages with the headhunters paddling the canoes when they've kidnapped said beautiful young lady. So Professor Arthur Mexon, he is convinced he can make the perfect human, and he goes about his experiments, and the opening lines are of him dismembering his creations in an upstairs room with his daughter, the beautiful daughter, downstairs. I'll read you just a little bit. As he dropped the last grisly, and this is the opening lines, as he dropped the last grisly fragments of the dismembered and mutilated body into the small vat of nitric acid that was to devour every trace of the horrid evidence which might easily send him to the gallows, the man sank weakly into a chair, and throwing his body forward upon his great teak desk, buried his face in his arms, breaking into a dry, moaning sobs. Hey, that's your first paragraph. Why wouldn't you want to carry on this book after an opening like that? Is just beyond me. So it goes on to, he's obviously traumatised by dismembering his creations and getting rid of the bodies, and him and his daughter decide to go on a round the world trip. As he's touring Asia and Europe first and then Asia, he obviously got back into thinking, do you know what, I'm going to give it another go. I'm going to hire a boat, a crew, hire an island in the Pacific Ocean. I'm going to make the perfect human man. And that's what he does. He shacks up with this fella called Dr. Von Horn, and he's a real piece of work. He really is. That's one thing Edgar writes really well. It's villains. He really does them top justice. So there's another character in this, and that is a Chinese cook named Sing Lee, and he's wrote him in very pidgin English, and it can be quite hard to follow what told Sing Lee the cook says, but you've just got to say it with a lisp in your head and you'll get on fine. But he rumbles, this Dr. Von Horn. He knows what's going. He's a smart cookie. He's more than a cook. Anyway, they come to this here island and they start making said humanoids. He gets to number 12 and they've all been horrific abominations, all different, and he goes into the book. I mean, it's only 157 pages, You can download it off the interwebs if you don't Google I'm or Guggenheim, whatever it is. You can download it. It can be in England. It is very hard to come across this book unless you use one bookshop which does internet sales, or you use eBay. I don't know what it's like in good old US, but it's quite a tricky book to get hold of in Britain. And he makes 12 of these abominations. But Professor Maxim is convinced that number 13 is going to be the one. Lo and behold, he makes number 13, and he is the perfect man. He's physically huge. He's constantly referred to as a giant of a man. He's beautiful. I think he's got blonde locks. He learns to speak English. He's intelligent, not like the other monsters of his past and of the 12. And he's convinced, because Professor Maxim's gone a bit of his creating the perfect human, basically. He's going to marry his daughter to a perfect man. She don't know this. But there's someone else on the island with cunning plans on said beautiful daughter. Wonder who that could be. Dr. Von Horn. And he's willing to marry her because he knows Toad Professor's got a bit of wedge behind him. So he's building a plan how we can get shacked up with beautiful, beautiful daughter and make off with a treasure chest that the professor's brought with him to Ireland. Massive treasure chest. Well, while he's making his plans, these pirates come along. They see beautiful woman, and the leader of the pirates wants a bit of her. He wants a bit of her action, and he wants the treasure chest as well. So all roundabout way, he ends up. There's a massive fight. The 13 monsters are set to be killed, apart from Lucky 13. And the pirates come in, kidnap the girl. They've made a bit of a loose plan with Dr. Von Horn and the Rothmans. Well, in the oncoming melee, 13 has palled up with the other 12 monsters, and he's got a big bullwhip that Dr. Von Horn uses to keep them all under control, and sets about freeing them. I am skipping key little bits in the story here because you ought to read it. I'm not telling you everything that goes off in the book. I have dropped some key moments there for your reading pleasure. But anyway, number 13 rounds up his mates and they're escaping because he's got no soul. He thinks he's an abomination as well. And for a quirk of the story, he changes his mind on letting the 12 monsters kill the professor and kill everybody else. And he convinces them to to follow him, number 13, and go rescue said beautiful girl that he's seen, that he's already rescued from one of the monsters in the jungle. So they travel to the jungles of Borneo now, and the scene after scene of fights between the 12 and the Borneo headhunters and Professor Von Horn and the pirates, and the beautiful girl escapes, and finally the professor and the Chinese man get to the island, get to Borneo, and they're trying to, with Dr. Von Horn, and they're trying to, one, get the treasure chest, and two, get the beautiful maiden back from the pirates. And there's all fight scenes and cunning plots that go astray, and in the end, the 12 monsters are all, one way or another, killed. So the beautiful maiden has been rescued at this point by 13, and he is going to take her to the professor and the Chinaman in the local village. But he gets waylaid, and the beautiful girl falls in love with him because he's a perfect, hunky, gigantic, eloquent young man. But he's convinced he's got no soul. Now there's a passage in this which I will read you, and it's what makes a human. Is it the soul? Is it, he already knows good people exist because he's met the Chinese cook, he's met the beautiful young lady. He also knows that it doesn't matter if you've got a soul, because you can go out cunning plans, murdering and killing for women and treasure chests. So he's a bit befuddled what this soul business is, and he's just come out of a bit of a stupor for 3 days. He got ill looking after this girl, and she's looked after him, and they're discussing what it is to have a soul. So "13 says to the young lady that she is now supposed to be married to one of the monsters, but she doesn't know that 13 is called Bulan. The natives have called this hunk Bulan. So she says, he tells her she was due to be married. It was his intention to give me in marriage to one of the soulless monsters, the one he called number 13. Oh, it is terrible even to think of the hideousness of it. Now they're all dead and he cannot do it." And then he says, "Why do you loathe them so? Is it because they are hideous or because they are soulless?" "Either fact were enough to make them repulsive," replied the girl, "but it is the fact that they are without souls that made them totally impossible. One easily overlooks physical deformity, but the moral depravity that must be inherent in a creature without a soul must forever cut him off from intercourse with human beings. And you think that regardless of their physical appearance, the fact that they were without souls would have been apparent, asked Bullen. I'm sure of it, cried Virginia. I would know the moment I set eyes upon a creature without a soul. He thinks he ain't got a soul, he's number 13, but she don't know he's number 13. She thinks he's got some gorgeous saviour who's just happened to be in the right place at the right time, at the right moment. With all the sorrow that was his, Bullen could scarce repress a smile, for it was quite evident either that it was impossible to receive a soul, or else that he possessed one. Just how do you distinguish the possessor of a soul? He asked. And then the girl thought, he's making fun of her. And he says, I'm just curious as to how souls make themselves apparent. I've seen men kill one another as beasts kill. I have seen one who was cruel to those within his power. I have seen men kill one another as beasts kill. I have seen one who was cruel to those within his power, and yet they were all men with souls. I have seen even soulless monsters die to save the daughter of a man who they believed had wronged them terribly. A man with a soul. How then am I to know what attributes denote the possession of the immortal spark? How am I to know whether or no I possess a soul? So he's got that moral quandary. He's seen men kill in the most barbaric ways, and he's seen these 12 soulless monsters fight for the most beautiful woman because they know it's the right thing to do. So the ending of it, obviously, Bullen, number 13, isn't one of the soulless creations. I've just given the ending away there, but it doesn't matter. You'll have twigged that by then. The Chinaman sees and speaks at the end and puts everything right. Number 13 gets the girl gets the boy, the professor throws all of his scientific work away because he knows it's an abomination, and they all live happily ever after. But what comes of Dr. von Horn? Read it. I've missed out so much just for the fact that you can read it. I mean, 150 pages, you read it in a day. It's a real page turner. I didn't realise until afterwards I was talking to my missus. She says, 13? So he's number 13? I says, yeah. She says, and he makes them work for him like disciples. Yeah, and there's 12 of them. Yeah. She says, my missus, because my missus is brain box in our house. Who else has got 12 disciples? I'll end it there because we're on 23 minutes. Edgar Rice Burroughs, The Monster Men, absolute 5-star read. Do it. Stay gorgeous. Keep reading. I'm going to make a brew and have a gorgeous night under the stars, hopefully, out in the lovely Peak District Library. See you in the next one, folks.